The streets of Memphis are heating up, and the tension in the rap world is reaching a boiling point. What started as whispers behind closed doors has now erupted into a full-blown storm between two of CMG's biggest stars, Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta. Fans, insiders, and even casual listeners are watching closely as the fallout unfolds. Because this isn't just a typical rap feud, it's personal, dangerous, and could change the landscape of Memphis hip-hop forever. Rumors have been circulating for months about creative differences, money disputes, and clashing egos within CMG. But now, Stan G, a name that rarely speaks publicly, has stepped into the ring and dropped a warning that's sending shockwaves across social media. Words like dangerous and over are being thrown around, and fans are left wondering, has CMG's empire finally reached its breaking point? What makes this feud even more explosive is the history between Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta. Once mentor and protege, their bond has crumbled, and now their rivalry is playing out publicly in ways that no one expected. Social media posts, cryptic interviews, and even subtle disses in new tracks are painting a picture of a conflict that's bigger than just music. It's about loyalty, respect, and survival in a city where the stakes are sky high. As this beef escalates, the question on everyone's lips is simple. Can CMG survive the fallout? Or is this the end of one of Memphis's most powerful rap dynasties? Buckle up, because the story is just getting started, and the twists, turns, and shocking revelations will keep you on the edge of your seat. Every legendary feud has a backstory, and the tension between Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta is no exception. To understand the explosive situation we're witnessing today, we have to go back to the very beginning, when loyalty and mentorship were the foundation of their relationship. Yo Gotti, often hailed as the king of Memphis rap, took Blac Youngsta under his wing early in his career. At the time, Youngsta was raw talent, hungry for recognition, and eager to prove himself in a city where street credibility was everything. For years, their dynamic worked. Yo Gotti provided guidance, connections, and a platform, while Blac Youngsta delivered hits that further cemented CMG's dominance in the Memphis rap scene. Fans celebrated their chemistry, and for a moment, it seemed like nothing could shake the foundation of their partnership. But as Youngsta's star began to rise, cracks slowly started to appear. The mentor-protege relationship shifted into a delicate balance of ego, ambition, and power. Insiders suggest that the tension began over creative control and financial disputes, common issues in the music industry, but in this case, the stakes were higher. Blac Youngsta, feeling the weight of his growing influence, began to assert himself more aggressively. What was once friendly competition turned into subtle disses in interviews and social media posts. Yo Gotti, who built his reputation on respect and authority, reportedly felt challenged and disrespected, a dangerous combination in the high-stakes world of Memphis rap. What makes this feud particularly volatile is the context of CMG's empire. The label isn't just about music, it's about power, street influence, and legacy. In this environment, even minor disagreements can spiral into serious conflicts, and that's exactly what started happening behind closed doors. While fans were enjoying the hits, the tension was simmering, growing into a storm that neither side could ignore. As rumors swirled online and insider accounts began to leak, the Memphis streets became the unofficial court for this battle. Every comment, every post, every subtle jab became a signal, a coded message to fans and rivals alike. It wasn't long before these small sparks ignited into a firestorm, setting the stage for what would become one of the most talked about rap feuds in recent memory. When private disputes turn public, the fallout is always explosive, and that's exactly what happened between Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta. For months, insiders hinted at disagreements behind the scenes, but the first public signs of tension sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community. It started subtly, with social media posts and interviews that fans initially dismissed as casual remarks. But for those paying close attention, the undertone was impossible to ignore. Blac Youngsta began dropping cryptic posts on Instagram and Twitter. Lines that seemed innocent to casual followers carried sharp, unmistakable jabs at Yo Gotti. Memes, subtle disses in song lyrics, and even interviews where Youngsta hinted at frustrations with management painted a picture of a growing rift. Fans immediately noticed the pattern, dissecting every post and comment, trying to decode hidden messages. The streets of Memphis buzzed with speculation, and soon, the story wasn't just confined to social media, it was trending across hip-hop news outlets nationwide. Yo Gotti, known for his calm but authoritative presence, didn't respond immediately, but when he did, it was with a statement that sent a clear message. Respect was non-negotiable. In a recent interview, Gotti expressed disappointment over loyalty and hinted that betrayal within his circle would not be tolerated. While he didn't name Youngsta directly, fans and media quickly connected the dots. Suddenly, what was once a private disagreement had become a public spectacle, and both sides were now under intense scrutiny. The tension escalated further when snippets of unreleased tracks allegedly surfaced online. Some of these tracks contained direct references to snakes, fake loyalty, and betrayal, all interpreted by fans as veiled shots aimed at one another. Music in this context became a battlefield. Each verse, each line, each beat a weapon in a growing war. Collaborations were canceled, studio sessions were cut short, and CMG's once solid image of unity began to show cracks for everyone to see. Adding fuel to the fire, insiders revealed that the feud wasn't limited to just words. It spilled into real-world encounters. Rumors circulated of tense meetings and confrontations at events, where friends and associates tried desperately to mediate before things got out of hand. These moments, though mostly unreported, painted a stark reality. This was no longer just about music. This was about respect, power, and the fragile balance of authority within one of Memphis's most influential rap labels. Fans began to pick sides, dividing themselves across social media platforms and creating intense debate threads. The feud had transcended music and entered culture territory, sparking conversations about loyalty, mentorship, and what it means to rise to the top in hip-hop. And as the drama unfolded, one thing became clear. This battle would not stay behind closed doors any longer. Just when fans thought the feud between Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta couldn't get any more intense, Stan G stepped into the spotlight and everything changed. Known for being calm, calculated, and rarely speaking publicly, Stan G's warning shook the Memphis rap scene to its core. His words weren't just a commentary. They were a declaration that the feud had crossed a line, and the consequences could be dangerous for everyone involved. Stan G's statement came via social media, in a post that was as cryptic as it was chilling. He addressed loyalty, respect, and the potential fallout if conflicts within CMG weren't handled carefully. The message was clear. The empire that Yo Gotti built, which had stood strong for years, was now in jeopardy. Fans dissected every word, reading between the lines for clues about the current state of the label. Every phrase, every emoji, and every subtle emphasis became fuel for speculation. The tension wasn't just between two artists anymore, it was a warning that the entire CMG family could be affected. The timing of Stan G's warning was significant. It came just as Blac Youngsta's social media posts were becoming more direct, and as Yo Gotti was reportedly growing increasingly frustrated with the public disses. The drama, which had been simmering behind the scenes, now had a spotlight, and everyone in Memphis and beyond could see just how high the stakes had become. Some industry insiders suggested that Stan G's message was a last attempt to prevent things from escalating into something irreversible. Others interpreted it as a veiled threat, a way to let both sides know that crossing certain boundaries would come with serious consequences. Adding to the chaos, the media jumped on Stan G's warning, framing it as a sign that CMG might be on the brink of collapse. Articles, blogs, and social media commentary speculated about potential fallout, from canceled collaborations to label members taking sides. The public, always hungry for drama, became even more invested in the feud. Every post from Youngsta or Gotti was now under a microscope, with fans eagerly waiting for the next move. Stan G's involvement also highlighted the broader implications of this conflict. CMG isn't just a label, it's an institution in Memphis hip-hop, and any fracture at the top affects everyone connected to it. Artists, producers, and even street affiliates began to feel the tension, creating an environment where trust was fragile, and every interaction was loaded with suspicion. The streets, once supportive of both artists, now watched anxiously, unsure of where their loyalty should lie. By the time the dust settled from Stan G's statement, it was clear that the feud had entered a new phase. No longer were Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta's issues confined to subtle disses or behind-the-scenes drama. Now, there was a palpable sense of danger, an understanding that the actions of one could ripple across the entire label, potentially leading to consequences that went far beyond music. As the feud between Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta escalated, it didn't stay confined to studios or interviews. It spilled directly onto the streets and into the online world. Fans, always quick to pick up on tension, became instant commentators, analysts, and in some cases, agitators. Social media platforms exploded with debates, memes, and heated arguments as supporters of both sides tried to make sense of what was unfolding. The feud had officially crossed into public obsession. On Instagram and Twitter, posts from both artists were dissected line by line. Fans speculated about hidden meanings, subliminal shots, and possible retaliation. Every new release or social media post became a battleground. For some, Youngsta's brash, unapologetic style made him the underdog, fighting back against a mentor who had grown distant. For others, Yo Gotti's calm, controlled approach solidified his image as the king who demands respect above all else. The division wasn't just about music. It was about identity, loyalty, and who represented the real Memphis sound. But the online reaction wasn't the only factor. On the streets, tension was palpable. Memphis, known for its tight-knit rap community and deep respect for hierarchy, felt the ripple effects of this feud immediately. Associates of both artists reported an uneasy atmosphere at events, studios, and public appearances. Rumors of confrontations and heated exchanges at local hotspots circulated quickly, feeding the fire of speculation. Every handshake, every meeting, and every chance encounter became loaded with potential conflict. The feud also highlighted a generational divide within the fan base. Longtime supporters of Yo Gotti saw Blac Youngsta's actions as reckless and disrespectful, a betrayal of loyalty and mentorship. Younger fans, however, admired Youngsta's boldness and willingness to speak out, framing the feud as a struggle for recognition and independence. This split amplified social media chatter, turning casual followers into passionate advocates, each side defending their favorite artist with intensity. Memes, reaction videos, and trending hashtags became the soundtrack of the feud, spreading far beyond Memphis to national hip-hop audiences. Media outlets covered every detail, fueling the drama and often sensationalizing minor incidents. As a result, what started as a personal dispute between two artists had now evolved into a cultural moment, one that reflected larger themes of loyalty, respect, and power dynamics within hip-hop, yet, amidst all the noise, one thing remained clear. The feud wasn't just a spectacle for fans. It had real-world implications for both artists and CMG. The tension threatened collaborations, partnerships, and even the label's public image. People within the industry were watching closely, knowing that any misstep could have lasting consequences. In this environment, trust became a rare commodity, and the line between loyalty and betrayal blurred more than ever. While fans and the streets watched the Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta feud unfold like a live drama, the real story was happening behind the scenes at CMG. What outsiders often fail to realize is that a label isn't just a business. It's a family, a network, and in Memphis, a kingdom built on loyalty, respect, and power. When cracks appear at the top, the effects are felt immediately, and CMG was now experiencing the full force of internal turmoil. Reports from insiders suggest that the feud disrupted not only relationships between Gotti and Youngsta, but also impacted other artists under the label. Collaborations were halted, studio sessions became tense, and alliances began to shift as everyone tried to navigate the dangerous waters. Friends were forced to pick sides, and the once unified CMG family suddenly faced divisions that threatened the label's reputation and cohesion. The tension also affected day-to-day operations. Managers, producers, and staff who had worked closely with both artists found themselves mediating conflicts that had little to do with business and everything to do with ego, pride, and personal grievances. In an environment where perception is everything, even small disputes had the potential to snowball into larger issues. Meetings became heated, and behind closed doors, discussions about loyalty and accountability grew more frequent and more intense. One of the most dramatic elements of this internal chaos was the impact on other CMG artists. Rising stars found themselves caught in the middle, unsure whether to align with Gotti, Youngsta, or stay neutral. Some were reportedly frustrated by the constant tension, fearing that the feud could damage their own careers or limit opportunities within the label. In an industry built on reputation and collaboration, these internal conflicts can quickly derail careers if not handled carefully. Stan G's warning, which had already sent shockwaves externally, also resonated internally. People within CMG knew that the feud wasn't just personal. It had the potential to destabilize the label's foundation. For years, Yo Gotti had built CMG into a powerhouse, fostering talent and creating a legacy that extended beyond Memphis. But now, the loyalty that once held the label together was being tested like never before. And the consequences of missteps were more than hypothetical. They were very real, even more concerning. Insiders noted that the feud introduced an element of unpredictability. Both Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta were powerful figures, not just in music, but in street influence as well. Any escalation, whether in words or actions, could have far-reaching consequences, making CMG a high-stakes environment where every move mattered. The label's future, once seemingly secure, suddenly felt fragile, and the drama between its two biggest stars threatened to overshadow the achievements of everyone involved. As the feud between Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta reaches its peak, the question on everyone's mind is simple: what happens next? This is no longer just a clash between two artists. It's a full-scale conflict with the potential to reshape the Memphis rap scene, redefine CMG's legacy, and force both Gotti and Youngsta to make decisions that could have long-lasting consequences. The fallout is already being felt. Public perception of CMG has shifted, with fans and industry insiders questioning whether the label can maintain its dominance amidst such visible tension. Trust, the backbone of any successful label, has been tested, and even the most loyal affiliates are now operating cautiously. Every move, every post, and every comment is scrutinized for signs of alignment or betrayal. In a world where reputation is everything, this feud has turned CMG into a high-stakes chessboard. For Yo Gotti, the challenge is clear: maintain authority while managing a rising star who once called him mentor. His response will determine whether he can preserve his legacy and keep the label unified. Gotti's history shows that he values respect above all else. And his next moves, whether through public statements, music, or behind-the-scenes negotiations, will be critical in signaling who holds power within CMG. Blac Youngsta, on the other hand, faces a different set of challenges. Having stepped out of his mentor's shadow, Youngsta is asserting independence, but the price of that independence could be high. The lines between ambition, loyalty, and defiance are blurred, and one wrong move could jeopardize not just his relationship with Gotti, but also his standing in the Memphis rap community. Youngsta's next steps will be closely watched by fans, peers, and rivals alike, as the stakes extend far beyond personal pride. The broader implications for CMG are significant. The label has built its reputation on unity, mentorship, and dominance in Memphis hip-hop. If this feud continues to escalate without resolution, it could disrupt upcoming projects, affect collaborations, and even shift the balance of power within the city's music scene. Industry insiders are already speculating about potential realignments, with some artists considering their futures carefully in light of the ongoing conflict. Despite the chaos, one thing remains undeniable: the feud has captivated audiences. Fans are glued to social media, analyzing every post and interpreting every lyric. The streets are buzzing with speculation, and the media continues to amplify the tension, making this one of the most talked-about conflicts in recent hip-hop history. What happens next could either solidify the legacies of Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta, or mark a turning point that redefines CMG entirely. As we watch this drama unfold, one thing is clear: the feud is far from over. The coming weeks and months will be critical, with both sides under immense pressure to navigate a landscape filled with loyalty tests, industry scrutiny, and public expectation. The choices Gotti and Youngsta make now will not only determine the future of CMG, but also shape their personal legacies in Memphis and beyond. Now that you've seen the full story, the rise, the tension, and the explosive feud between Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta, it's time to hear from you. This isn't just a feud between two rappers. It's a battle of loyalty, power, and legacy that could reshape the Memphis rap scene forever. Who do you side with? Do you stand with Yo Gotti, the king who built an empire and demands respect? Or do you root for Blac Youngsta, the fearless rising star challenging his mentor and claiming his place in the spotlight? We want to know your thoughts in the comments below. Share your take on who you think will come out on top, what this feud means for CMG, and whether you believe the label can survive this storm. Your voice matters, and your perspective could spark conversations that go even deeper into this drama. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed our breakdown of the feud. It helps us bring you more exclusive content, insider updates, and the latest news from the world of hip-hop. And make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell because the story isn't over. The streets, the studio, and social media are all watching, and we'll be right here breaking down every move, every post, and every shocking update as it happens. Finally, if you have friends who are obsessed with Memphis rap, tag them in the comments or share this video. This is the drama everyone is talking about, and missing out isn't an option. Yo Gotti, Blac Youngsta, and CMG are at a crossroads, and we're here to cover every moment. Stay tuned, stay engaged, and let us know. Who will come out on top in one of the most explosive feuds hip-hop has seen in years? The story continues, and your opinion could make all the difference.